You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the April 23rd meeting of the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau Board of Managers. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
I'm going to go ahead and start our meeting. Ready? Yep. Okay, we're going to call to order the April 23rd, 2024 meeting of the Board of Managers for the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau. May we have the roll call, please?
Becky Greenlaw.
Here.
Pat Harris.
Here.
Bryn Myers. Stacy Bennett.
Here.
Diane Gonzalez. Present. Mark King. Adam Konechny.
Here.
Mike Sykes.
Here.
Don Babcock.
Yeah, Mom.
We have a quorum.
Thank you for that. Do we have any public comments at this time? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve our March 2024 minutes.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion by Mike Sykes and a second by Becky Greenlaw. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The past couple of months, we've been talking about pulling together a strategic planning session and having a board retreat. In order to do that, it's about time to do that again, as we've stated before. And we've been having some discussions around the format for that. We had established a committee, an advisory committee to assist in our organization, and this committee was designed to represent the community. So we've decided to expand it, and we added a person last month, William Walker, and we're looking to add another person. So we're working on that part of it. The advisory committee, we did have a meeting on yesterday to talk about the strategic plan and pulling everything together. Jack has gone and to the extent of actually pulling some things together for us, and we're going to let him and the advisory committee actually report on our progress towards the retreat and what's going on there.
Would you like to do that now?
Well, we can do it now. We can move it up on the agenda so that we can discuss it. There's some things we have to approve today. There's one item we need to approve today. But I'll let Jack talk a little bit about the process that we're going to be pursuing for putting on the retreat. And we're also going to let the chair of our advisory committee have some comments, because I think this is very important that we engage the board. And the dates are tentatively set, but they're going to pretty much be what they are if no one has anything extreme going against it. It's out in the future. It's the 23rd and 24th of September. So we're going to be asking you to put those dates on your calendar and make this a priority. The county is poised to really do some really fantastic things. We definitely want to be part of making sure those things happen and make sure they go forward in their success. So I'll go ahead and let Jack report on what he's done so far with the process for putting the retreat together.
Great, glad to, Pat, thanks. Clearly, this is something that, if you can't tell, I'm pretty excited about. It's the process has been under discussion for quite a while. Pat's been pushing for a retreat for many years. I kept kicking it down the road for one reason or another, just a lot of things on the table. But as we started talking about a retreat, and a couple new board members came on, a couple other board members today, where we at with our planning, we evaluated our current plan, strategic plan, marketing plan, business plan, all combined into one, and we realized we were at a point where we really needed to overhaul the whole process. I reported back to you last month, or maybe the month before, we were working right now in 24 on a plan that was technically expired, and we were going to have to think about renewing that somewhere later on in 24. Well, think about the process. We couldn't have even got that done until the second or third quarter in 24. So it seemed logical that we would come together and tie the planning in with the concept of the retreat and bring in folks that do this for a living, that are professionals, just like all the CVB staff are, in what they do. And I've done just that. Okay, and that's what's before you. The actual question for you all today, hopefully somebody will at some point just simply entertain a motion, as I put in the budget for you all, to give us a cannot exceed amount and let us move forward. That's really all we're asking today. The plan itself, the schedule, the retreat, all that's still on the table. And of course, the hiring of Planning Next we can't do anything until I get the money approved, if you feel that so inclined today. Then once they're engaged, then we can have all kinds of open discussion about steps in the plan. You know, do we want to change something? Do we want to redirect something? How the retreat's laid out? That kind of stuff. That's all. I had to just give you some kind of an outline. Now, although I put a committee together of staff of Dale, Amy, Linda, and myself. We've done a lot of preliminary work, and as you can see, there's a really comprehensive schedule in there already that I would hope, as we bring Planning Next on and get them engaged, that we don't veer too far from, because I think it's done pretty well. But again, it's wide open for any tweaking. So the initial steps will be, we've already started gathering data. We've put quite a bit of data together, bringing information in from our regional CVBs. Pat was concerned about getting some benchmarks on where we stand. We're also doing that in the state, and we're also doing that with our international group. So we'll have that data to supply to Planning Next as we move forward. Then we're going to audit our current plan. We've already started internally to find out the gaps, where we fell short, where we can make changes, how we need to do things. We're going to audit that baby and get it ready to go in a new format. Then that's where we're going to start depending on the folks from Planning Next to facilitate the next steps, which will be coming in and introduce themselves to you all. There'll be surveys coming out very early, looking for your expectations, representing the county, the broad, and that's already done by statute. You know, we got all three of the major entities covered. Then they're going to come in June for a virtual meeting. They'll be part of your June board meeting. I think the way we'll design it, Pat, we have to, I've talked to Laura about this, but after we adjourn the regular meeting, we'll set up a scheduled workshop.
I think you're off 1 month. I think it's...
Now, June is the virtual, July's the... Well, we have to do the same thing for both.
Okay.
Yeah, so at the end of the June meeting, we'll adjourn the meeting and then go into a virtual workshop. And then you're right, then coming back in July, Pat, the same process, except they're going to be here live in July. Then, of course, we got a little thing like a boat race to do, so we got to kind of skip August for a little bit. And then... not skip it, we'll still be working on it, but we'll be a little bit busy. And but they won't, they'll be still engaged, pulling all of your stuff together that they brought in. And then the actual retreat, and then we're bringing in the industry spokesman to come in also, besides Planning Next. We're really excited about him. I mentioned that in my letter to you all. And he's going to stay with us through the whole process. And then after that, they'll tell us what the timelines are to get stuff back towards the end of the year, or how that's going to come. We didn't get out that far. So again, pretty exciting time. As soon as this meeting is over and we can, and you all agree that we can move forward, if that's the case, then we're going to sign that contract with Planning Next and hit the ground running. We're going to be ready to go.
what I would like to
Yeah.
ask at this time is for Angie to make some comments from the advisory board because they have some experience with tourism.
Yeah, well, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
New appointed chair of this advisory board, very excited, and we got our first task, and here we go. But very interested as far as hearing about the plan, the strategic plan as far as with the meeting with Pat and Jack and how they want to roll it out. Our recommendation, certainly as advisory board, is to support. The finances are there when we get to the treasury report. This is not going to do anything with the current operations that we are under with the CPB board. It truly is something that is needed. My 30-plus years of serving and certainly being in the industry and certainly being a part of this community for the past 13-plus years, it is needed. We just are going through our newly elected government officials. No secret that Mayor Derby is now serving his second term. He's been very aggressive and very vocal about what his plans of development are for changing LaPorte. We just held the most highly well-attended mayoral ball for Michigan City last Friday night in Michigan at Blue Chip. And Mayor Angie Nelson Deutsch, she handed out, what, $12,000-$15,000 for scholarships? I mean, she is on that path and she's extremely vocal about the changes she wants to do. This team has to be at that table. This team has to be driving the bus. All those changes are happening. Where is it going to be doing? How is it going to affect tourism? How is it going to affect our community? And where do we see our community in the next 5, 10, 15 years? Because they're seeing it. They're visionary. We have to make sure that we're in front of that. Plan Next is a very proven company that obviously has worked with many communities across the country, as well as our neighbors in my hometown, well, not hometown, where I currently reside is in Valparaiso. Everybody's always looking next door, whatever. I tell you, Valparaiso's looking here. They're definitely looking here about all the things going on. So again, collected, smart, talented individuals. We finally got our board where we are. Doug and I are here to back it up. We got a couple more people too, but for the most part, truly support that we need to invest in us. And once this strategic retreat happens, I mean, it's not really a retreat, it's going to be work, and it's going to be a lot of work to be done. But I think it'll be something that will prove to our community members as we spread the word to support everything that's going on with the South Shore Track, the new hotel developments going on. Blue Chip is making over $26 million of investments and renovations right now too. We got to step up our game on so many levels. Game, get it?
I think you're betting on the future.
So again, we support this investment and making sure that we invest in ourselves and knowing that we're the ones who are able to lead these discussions for tourism and making sure that we make sure that that money is well spent.
Thank you. Great
Can
job.
I say one more thing?
Sure.
Yeah, Andrew reminded me something really important that I should have said. Again, the question that's going to be on the table is just simply approving the cannot exceed amount and let us move over. But we do have the money to do this. The only reason we didn't put it in the budget is we didn't expect to be here, as I explained earlier. We really didn't have this planned last fall when we did our budget. That happens a lot. And the board has done this twice now. This will be the second time. It helps us operate when you let us come back, because things happen after we approve those budgets.
Right.
Important things. So as long as we got the money, and as you all know, we're solvent, we're in good shape money-wise. So the money is not a question, just a matter it was not procured ahead of time. And you all, that's your job to do that.
Right.
Okay, so, yeah.
Okay. And you all have had, all the board members have had a chance to look over the financial structure for this retreat. And you've had an opportunity to comment. We had some good solid comments coming back from some of you. I would just ask at this time if anybody has any concerns as a board member about financials. We've looked at them and we did some research, and it's very reasonable for what's going to actually happen. It's not out of line. So I would ask at this time if anybody has any concerns to address them before we ask for the approval.
I don't have concerns. I'm obviously supportive of it. I think it's well advised that we move ahead on this, and that it's important for us to get a multi-year plan going and create a vision for the rest of the community to interact with us. And so we can adjust our paths as things change. I'm anxious to see, and it's great to hear that Next has done some stuff in other neighboring areas. I am anxious to see what the benchmarks are, as you suggested, as well as is there one or two or three similar types of communities that we ought to be learning from? Is there, I don't know, if we had to put somebody at the top of the list, who's the best of the best?
Yes.
Well, and to stay there though, you got to compete
Right.
with competition. So,
Back it up.
so I'm hoping that becomes part of the process here. So,
Well, when we benchmark, that's going to be part of the benchmarking, is to definitely, evaluate other communities, not only in the state of Indiana, but nationally, because this is a global entity now. We are bringing in both racers from around the world, and so we want to expand so that somebody in Italy looks up something that they want to do, and Michigan City LaPorte, comes to the top.
they want to come here and have some wine. But the
In supporting what Don said, I remember when I was with the South Bend Chamber, we would send, I think a couple of times we sent some board members to other communities for 2 days, 1 day, 2 days, to sit down with another convention and visitors bureau, sit down and talk to them about what, their analysis of their community, and were there any benchmarks that we could bring back, so that.
I was just curious if there is if we were to put a list of 5 other communities, visitors bureaus, whether it's by counties or whatever, who would be on that list? Yeah. And then to your point, Mike, I mean, maybe it is worth a little field trip or something, or a couple calls to sit, or check out their website or something, because I'm kind of ignorant, really, relative to that.
Comes out of this process.
Yeah.
That's what I whispered to Pat, and very likely that will be one of the outcomes that we could come up with. Okay, I can just see that. And the reason I can see that is I've already seen some of the numbers, and it's going to be really hard. There's no apples to apples out there in the whole state, in the whole country. And we've been visiting other CBBs since the day we started. Okay, I mean, literally, we've been doing that and trying to glean and learn but just a good example of the surrounding counties. St. Joe is not structured like us at all. They're a different statute. They're governed by the Chamber of Commerce. They get an 8% innkeeper's tax, and we get 5. They've got 3 times the number of beds that we have. And what else is unique over there? A couple other things. So making some obvious comparisons with St. Joe County, it's pretty tough, right? Pretty tough. But we've been able to do that. We've been able to dig down, especially in areas like third-party rentals. Because see, that's an area I think it's going to really come out of our planning big time. That's going to shoot right up at us.
Yeah, I agree.
And Amy and I got some numbers we'll be sharing with you soon on that. But it's clear that that's going to be somewhere that we're going to have to spend some time. So third-party rentals, we will be able to do some comparison, things like that. But just in income or just in occupancy rates, it's going to be a tough one. But we're going to work on it. It's going to be there.
But I think we have a tool in place that allows not the apples and oranges comparison, but a performance comparison, and that's DMAI when we do our accreditation process. As all of these counties and tourism bureaus have to go through that process is kind of going to be what I'm thinking we can look at.
More on target than not, because the pool that will be put into there, Pat, will be a pool that equals our budget. So we'll be judged against other budget. When Gail and I are looking at this now.
That tool is in place. We can use that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm hoping we can use that.
And we don't know how far yet. We don't know how far, not on our end, on their end. But, those are some of the cool things. But I'm guessing, without getting too far out of my lane, that'll be something Planning Next will probably pick out from listening to you guys and listening to our staff, and that probably will give us some direction that maybe we should move forward with the board visiting other communities, not staff. Board may pick out stuff that we didn't, okay, things like that. So that'd be my guess. But so yeah, I just want to add this.
The cool stuff.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
So I think that answers
I think
my.
we ought, in January, I think we ought to visit West Palm Beach.
We already got a line for Key West for the boat race already. Both mayors and all the commissioners, everybody wants to go. So.
Okay. All right. Do we have anything else?
I was just responding to their questions, Pat. I think if they got any more, I'll be glad to.
Can I make a motion?
In just one moment, because I really want to make this an inclusive thing. We have some people sitting out here. I don't know if you guys have anything you would like to include, because this is about our community, and you all represent different areas of our community. You don't have to, but somebody.
I'll just add that Josiah Brown is included in this plan, and those of us that went to the ITA conference got to see him speak twice, and he's fabulous, and he's going to bring a lot of some of the things you're taught, like some of the industry things that are going on out there, a lot of new and exciting things, makes you think a different way, and so on. So I think he's really key to this process too, so I'm excited that he's going to come in.
Yeah.
If it passes.
Okay, well, with that, I will ask for a motion to approve the request to proceed with contracting with Planning Next to put on and orchestrate our strategic planning board retreat for 2024.
Not to exceed
Not to exceed 30,000.
50 for the truck.
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. The Planning Next part is 30,000. So the entire cost of the retreat is 50,000. So I think I need to adjust my motion. So the motion will be adjusted to have a not to exceed amount of 50,000, which includes a not to exceed amount of 30,000 for Planning Next.
Good.
Yeah.
So
move.
Go ahead.
Okay, we got Stacy, and you want to be a second?
Sure.
We have a motion by Stacy Bidding and a second by Mike Sykes to approve the motion as presented. Any further discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we're on our way. Get ready, guys.
Exciting.
Watch what you ask for.
I'm going to be nudging you all very gently for the next few months. So be patient with all of us. Okay. All right, the next item in our report is our treasurer's report.
Okay, so for March 2024, total accounts payable was $145,858.59. A total payroll of $45,777.40 for a grand total of $191,635.99. And I will pass this around to the board's signature. It includes the statement of financial position, profit and loss performance, and the March bank account reconciliation and claim sheets. That's it.
Okay. All right. You heard the report by Becky Greenlaw. You have it in your board packet. So I'll ask for a motion to approve our financials as presented. Motion to approve. We have a motion, we need a second.
Second.
We have a second. Motion by Stacy Benning, second by Adam Knizny. Any discussion, questions, comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, that brings us down to our staff reports, and we're gonna start with Jack.
Thanks, Pat. Thank you all again for doing this to go ahead. So we talk about the boat race maybe a little bit now that we've got us all thinking about planning. For a couple things on the boat race. I sent you all an update, I believe, on the meeting of June 18th. We try to bring in our community partners 2 or 3 times a year, at least on our level, and then staff work with them on almost a weekly level that help make this race happen. And so we've got a large group of community partners coming together on the 18th at Blue Chip. And I wanted to make sure you all put out that on your calendar. The updates will be coming. You guys will, by the time it comes, you'll be well updated. I got a couple things to give you today, but it's a good chance to get our partners to the table and let them have input and keep the communications open. So I just wanted to mention that. A couple things that we've added for the race this year since we met last month. As you know, this VIP ticket thing has been a constant challenge over the years, trying to get a round peg into a square hole, or vice versa, I guess it is, square peg into a round hole. Because we had 400 seats in the tent. Our prime sponsor, who makes that all happen, NIPSCO, gets 200 of those, rightfully so, to give out to their folks and to community leaders and so forth. You can do the math, there's not a whole lot left, and it's just become a real challenge. So what we've done is we added 60 feet onto the tent, which adds 15 round tables, which equates to 120 seats. So now we're up to 520 seats at the main VIP tent. Then we started evaluating within that, and I got to share this number with you because I just didn't believe it at the beginning. And I'll challenge somebody to give me to see if you can get. So I've given you some numbers to think about. We had 400 seats. How many tickets do you think we gave out in 2023? Don, you've done this. Somebody else. In 2023, how many tickets?
I'm usually 600.
That's right.
And then Don said, squeezing that right, 600. Anybody else? Don's not even halfway there.
I was just gonna say about 1,000.
We 1,287.
Wow.
Okay. Now a lot of that is folks took tickets and didn't show up. There's a whole lot of things that enter into that.
They don't go to all of the events.
But it doesn't take too long to do the numbers there and see we got a problem. I already gave you guys the example of my dentist had to stand up. He didn't get to sit down, right? And you got to go see him. Yeah, our dentist. Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to stand up.
Yeah. But we can't.
Flowers.
And he was a sponsor. He wasn't just somebody off the street. And we can't have our sponsors not being able to get seated at this event. So we're working hard on doing things. So one of the things that Rick put in a bid out of the, so remember, we got 400, NIPSCO gets 200, we got 520, NIPSCO gets 200. So Rick hits in an inter-office email, he says, well, I need 100. Okay, well, you guys can do the math, right? And when he needs 100 for the race teams, we got to take care of race. And I said, Rick, you're killing me. It's just not going to work here. So we came up with the idea to do a VIP tent for the race team. Yeah, so race teams. So if you look at our current VIP tent, we're in the boardwalk ends going towards New Buffalo. Between the end of our current tent and the lifeguard station, we'll be putting in a VIP tent for the race teams. Yeah, and so that'll do 2 things. One, it'll make the race teams the continuation of feeling welcome and feeling like VIPs and rolling out the red carpet for them. But 2, it'll take some Rick's 100 requests out of the pool. And we 200. No. And so we've added that, so that's really cool. It's going to be.
So is the expectation that will people be able to go from tent to tent, or is in their exclusive tent, or Michigan City people welcome to go in their tent, or is there any of that kind
Well,
of tension?
the goal is going to be to keep the race team down there, race teams in that tent, because they have a couple things that they're looking for when they're mostly looking for a place to watch their teams outperforming, and they actually have electronic equipment they got to set up and do some stuff, and they get a little bit in the way and the VIP, and stuff like that. So that's one of their big goals. The other goal that they have is Phil's gonna put a bar in there. We're gonna fence it up, make it legal, so we'll have a bar and we'll have food in there. It'll be maybe a different level food, but so there will not be allowable moving back and forth.
Okay.
So to get into the big VIP tent, you still need a badge, so forth. The race teams will be badged differently.
Okay.
Yeah, there may be a little interaction, but for the most part, that'll set, Rick?
Well, when they register, they get wristbands, and that will be their entrance into that.
Is that what you guys have come up with? Okay, cool.
Well, to Don's comment too, because this is over the years, it's been built up really big because the community was right there intermingling, and the whole parade thing and all of that was built around community involvement. And so, I understand they have to do their thing with their race teams and watching that, but with just a little bit of interaction, I don't know how they can be done, but I hate to see that not be part of it, because until now, they've just come into the tent, and I enjoy standing there beside some of those guys, and they're telling me, what's going on with their team and what they need to do, and I see other people doing that too, so that interaction to me is kind of important.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Good idea. A little bit. Yeah, of course.
Well, there's a celebrity kind of thing with it too. With
Well,
them.
that
I mean,
too,
they're the
but-
team. I mean,
There'll be some of them that will not be satisfied with going into an auxiliary VIP tent. I just don't know enough. Okay, some of the big dogs. So just saying, guys, they'll still be there. For example, X Insurance is not going to be asked to give us $40,000 and then go down in an auxiliary tent. Okay, they're going to be in our tent. Promise you. So good.
And I like that.
Those are all good points.
I think they seem to like that also, from my past experience.
Yes, yeah.
I think they like it.
So so we're working on it, just trying to make this thing work.
Yeah.
It's a fun problem to have for sure.
well, the point is, you got more space.
Yeah.
At a minimum, right? So.
Yeah. We went both ways. We extended the tent one way, and now we added the new one the other way. So the other thing that we've done since you all have got together here is we've really focused on the downtown event for the weekend, for Saturday night. As we listen to these race teams and they keep talking about our block party and our parade being second to none, and we made a decision early this year that we weren't going to set on that. We were going to keep improving on that block party and race. So to that end, we've added a free kid zone that will be, we're starting to publicize like last week. That's going to be on at 7th Street. And we're also going to be adding a carnival area. That area is not free, that's pay to play, but it's a kid zone also. So a free kid zone with face painting and stuff like that we're paying for, that the kids can come in and do free, and then a carnival section where they can come in and play to do some limited interaction that kids do with games and all that stuff. Chelsea, what's the carnival stuff?
So we had met with the group this weekend on bringing in just some games, so like the little duck pond game, like the ring toss game. It's pay to play with those, so they'll be taking the cash, and they have an agreement with Dee Dodd, who works with us, who's kind of the head of everything, but we're just kind of helping her out a little bit more this year. The free kid zone, we've got some inflatable basketball or skee ball, got some like giant Jenga yard games, Connect 4. We've got quite a few different vendors that we're actually paying for, with a couple of caricature artists we're helping. Face painting, balloon twisting, that's all gonna be free down there. So we've also added for adults a cigar lounge that's gonna be part of the 21 and up area.
Not part of the kid zone.
Kids, the part of the
just wanted to clarify.
For the bar area. So then bringing in some more vendors, for food and some more merchandise vendors and just kind of expanding our layout in there. So.
Yeah, good job on that, Chelsea. Thank
Are
you.
we doing anything with any music? I mean, like an entertainment?
So Phil usually has a band down there. We've also added a couple of bands. I think Phil added them to the actual parade
We're
route.
actually putting bands on flatbeds that are gonna go down with the parade route.
Yep,
And then they'll station?
Yes, correct.
yep. He's got a separate one actually that's gonna station, I don't even remember the hours, 7 to 10 or something.
On the road, Saturday night.
Yep. So
Yeah,
7
we need to really make it feel like
Yep,
an event. you
Yep.
know, So the music always helps.
yep, from 7 to 10, he'll have that band down there, so.
Any progress on the local breweries?
There's really, the question Mike's asking is a couple of the breweries have, when Mike has visited them on his own personal time and kind of made some left-handed comments about, we're not part of this. I'm glad you asked. I want to get this on the record, okay?
For the record, well, it was part of the,
It wasn't your personal time, oh.
no, it was part of existing business and visitation.
Well, that's even better. Yeah,
Of the
yeah.
county, so.
So just so everybody understands it, so our alcohol vendor pays us $6,000 for the rights to do the alcohol, okay? Nobody really wants that. We've tried the liquor association, we've tried different taverns, because it's a big gamble. You pay any money, whatever it is, and we get a typhoon comes through and there's no race, and the $6,000 stays with us. They don't get it back. So the one we have, and he's done a great job, so he invests $6,000, but he gets the rights to the alcohol. Nobody else is ponying up that kind of money getting it right. But within that, we have opened the door. I went to him and said, look, any of our local breweries, wineries, we want them present. So he has made it wide open. If any of our breweries want to partner with him, and he's made it so simple, I can even handle it, okay? All they gotta do is come, he'll provide the servers, or they can, and he's gonna let them partner. But they gotta work through him, because he's got the liquor license.
Okay, so is this within a fenced-off area at 7
Yes, uh-huh.
feet? It's that zone? So you might have one station, let me just pick on some names. Okay, Zorn's got theirs, Burnham's got theirs.
They have to work
work through Phil.
Yeah, that's correct.
But they would have their,
Exactly.
whatever product is.
Yes, if they want to do it.
If they want to do this. So I think, to me, that would be a plus, but
Yeah.
it does need to be communicated early on, otherwise you will start picking up the flack on the social media and everything else.
And that's it's always been there, Don, the offer, and all they gotta do is work out a financial arrangement with Phil.
Okay.
And I'm telling you right now, the one he's offering them, if they don't take it, then they're not gonna be in business long, because he's offering them.
I know there's also sensitivity, as Mike suggests, different places in the downtown. Some people really do like having the parade, and some others suffering, well, it hurts my business instead of helps my business. So to the extent we figure out how to manage that and to communicate that early on, it's
a good point.
plus, yeah.
So what we're doing is just, Chelsea just threw her head up, because of some significant issues with shelf ice, that the city, which we didn't have any involvement in, as you know, the city is getting a lot of kickback, a lot of issues. But just what Don's talking about vendors setting up in front of them, hurting their business, not cleaning up afterwards, all kinds of problems. We're starting to knock on doors now to everybody on the parade route, saying, here's what our plans are, please join us, please be partner, take our signs, here's our schedule, and how would you like to be part of this? Any suggestions? You want porta potties in front of your place? We'll be glad to put them there, those kind of things. But seriously, anything to add to that?
Yeah, we're planning on buying some open flags and offering them to any of the businesses downtown that want to hang those.
Open for business,
Open
raise
for
flags.
during the closing of the street, that sort of thing.
So we're already
And we're
starting.
talking about
Good.
putting in the carnival area, if any of the restaurants want to donate a $10 gift card, doing a guess how many jelly beans are in the jar type thing, just to kind of get people involved with that and doing a drawing, just kind of that type of thing. a gift card, and just really trying to find different ways to get them involved instead of them feeling like they're hurting because of our event, so.
Okay, so so those are the updates, a lot more coming, we're still working downtown. I will close my comments for now. I do have to say something in part of Amy's report, but back to the VIP stuff. One other thing that we've done, a lot of organizations were coming to us wanting VIP tickets to put in fundraisers, silent auctions, stuff like that. It's all good. We found out about one on social media a few weeks ago that we hadn't even been told about, and so we're scrambling trying to get tickets, and then so we've redirected any of those type of requests, Pat, that they're going to be now. We're going to give them gift certificates to B's or something else. Okay, that's a nice gift certificate, by the way, first of all, and let them auction those off, because we can't afford any longer to auction off our VIP passes. And it is at cost, it's a $300 value, the VIP value. That's what our cost if you buy them. Just for education. So, okay, thank you, Pat. Now, I'm sorry about taking so long, but it was all good stuff. So, Gail, anything else under Operation Finances?
I don't believe so, but if anyone does see an expenditure when that folder comes by that you have a question about, please don't hesitate to ask anytime. It doesn't have to be during the meeting.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely not. In fact, we'd better know it ahead of time so we can do a little digging if we know what it is and kind of get you an answer right away. Okay, Linda, you're up.
Okay. First of all, I've passed around the 2024 Indiana Toll Road Visitor Guide. The CVB always purchases the inside back cover, which is always on the boat race. And then we cover our 2 exits, 39 and 49. And there's also the map, the toll road map, and this year we picked up, made a couple changes. So we put Heston Steam Museum in there, just to, we see Ted at different meetings and so on, so we thought it would be a great idea to give him some hype, and he's always very appreciative. So these are all your copies. The other, I didn't have enough for everybody, but Michigan City Economic Development Corporation has their 2023 annual report. Very, very great information on the busy year that they had in 2023. And what Clarence always does every year is put the front page of our visitor guide on the back cover. So it's a big treat for us as well. As it's been mentioned earlier, Mayor Angie had her gala Friday at Blue Chip, sold out. I think it was over, 700?
750.
750. Very comfortable seating wise. The food was excellent. Great entertainment, and the checks that were given out to the different groups. But I'll just pass this around just so everybody can see. This was the program that was handed out during the event. Just jumping back, when Jack
And the Bureau did have 2 tables.
Yes, we did have 2 tables. Yes, we did. Thank you, Pat. And as Jack was just talking about what we're doing with strategic planning and so on, Amy and I will be next month attending, our ITA meetings. This year they've changed those to. This meeting is going to be an ITA Executive Summit. They have a CEO Summit and Executive Summit. So we'll be attending. They've changed the format some. It's an all-day event, and a couple things that will be presented at this meeting is just updates from the State Board of Accounts and others, so we always like to be part of that. So that's going to be held in Plainfield. When Pat had mentioned our accreditation through Destinations International, that conference is in July in Tampa. So myself, Amy, and Katie will be attending that. And also at that conference, DMAP, which is our accreditation, will be handing out certificates, and they do this each year upon our renewal and so on. So DI has just done a strategic plan ITA has just finished their strategic plan last year. So we have a lot that we can look at as a CVB in the industry. And one of the things that is still continuous, and I think I mentioned this a year or so ago, was the EDI, the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, is all part of that. ITA's information for their plan was a full day. They brought in a moderator, and it was very intense. And so we have now had that out for 2024, and we'll have some discussion on that at the meeting. For the Grand Prix, the brochures are at the printer, and we should have those. We work with Tim Teets at Apollo, and so we should have those out, probably delivered next week. We bumped the number a little bit just since we're starting early. We just want to always be sure by the time we get to race week, we still have enough to hand out at the VIP tent and the information tent. The billboard design is done. We'll have the same location right where the old Buffalo Wild Wings was. So that'll be up in the next couple weeks. We have the same board from Lamar, and that's worked out really well with us. And
on that point,
yes,
just not to interrupt too much. Any thought about having the billboard on the expressway?
we did that a couple years.
I'm just thinking volume, right?
Yeah.
Toll Road or 94?
We did
Toll Road.
Yeah, Toll Road we did, yeah. Toll Road has
Actually,
one
we'll
up.
still be doing Toll Road.
Yeah.
That's still under
Yeah, the
contract.
Toll Road is still up, and we did 94 a couple years ago, and we did the change panels maybe 10 times.
I see.
It's hit and miss. You know the number of cars that come past, but the other part is you got cars doing 80, 90, 100. And unless it's huge where you really need it,
can't be fine.
you can't. And so we've stayed away from that. But this coming off of 94, they all see it. It's right in their face, and they're going slow enough that the racers have even commented to us that they've noticed it. But so we've just stuck with that. It's we get it every year at a good cost. So, and then a couple other things other than what Amy's doing digitally. We are working with a regional TV station to try to get some things going and promoting the race as well, more in our region, South Bend and so on. Because we felt we get Indy, we get Chicago, but just from some of the numbers we look at, we need to hit South Bend a little bit more. Easy drive. Yeah, so we're working on that with another television station. Cool. So.
Great update. Thank you, Linda. Good job. So moving into heads and beds, I'm going to intro here for
Don't steal her thunder.
No, we already talked about
I got you, Amy.
She actually asked me a couple of times.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm
Amy,
so going to be into that area.
yeah. So having said that, pretty cool thing happened since we've met last. One of our great community partners, Jim Usual, he's the executive director with Citizens for Homeless. I think probably everybody knows Jim. He's been active in the community for quite a while. He reached out to Gail with wanting some help. His facility, I'm going to let you get, he's going to give you the detail. I'm just trying to get the intro down here. He needed some help because he was going to have to relocate his clients. That's a short version. And from there, things went one way, went another. There was some things happened. Then we had to get Chelsea involved because their first hotel corporate pulled out. And so our staff was able to jump in and help Jim keep his people literally off the streets, okay? And it was a really cool thing. Jim has been on WIMS. He's got an article coming out in the paper this week congratulating us for everything we do. He's just been such a great partner, but I wanted you all to hear it firsthand. So, Jim, anything you want to explain, add, or tell us about our help and your partnership and stuff?
I'll just sit here and...
Sure, yeah, whatever you need.
Thank you. I'm Jim Usio. I'm the Executive Director of Citizens Concern for the Homeless. That's an organization that's been in existence in this town for 33 years. A lot of people don't understand or know CCH other than our funders and the people that we work with. Well, what they do know are our 4 programs. Sandcastle Shelter for Homeless Families, Keys to Hope Community Resource Center, the Grace Learning Center, and the Food Rescue Initiative. when you see these cars wrapped around the building here every once in a while when we're having those mobile food drives, that's our organization doing that. So, Jackie asked me to just spend a couple of minutes talking about the different programs. Sandcastle Shelter for Homeless Families has been serving displaced families, primarily single moms with kids, for the last 32 years. I mean, we organized on May 31st of 91, and in 92 we got our 501c3 designation and took off. Our original building was on 9th Street, that white A-frame that's behind the Uptown Theater, and about 17 years ago we took over the rectory of Sacred Heart's Church that was gifted to us by the diocese, and have been there ever since. It's a 30 to 45 day residential emergency shelter, and that says designated by the state of Indiana. And what we do is we bring our families in, and it's much more than just a place for the families to live and to eat and to have their basic needs met after they've been displaced. I've been a lawyer for 42 years in Illinois, and I got a taste of social service work about 18 years ago, and I've been doing it ever since. But my last job was with a place called Midwest Shelter for Homeless Veterans, and the operator of that facility, a guy by the name of Dr. Robert Adams, was an ex-Navy corpsman who was in the Vietnam War attached to a Marine unit going out in the jungle. He came out as messed up as everybody else and got it together, got his doctorate, opened up this facility, and when he hired me to be the weekend facilitator at that point, my law practice, I was down to 2 days a week, and I had 5 other jobs, all in social services, all part-time jobs here and there. And when he hired me, he said, Jim, I'm gonna just tell you this one time, and this is how we operate here. The people that are using our shelter, they have to be clinically diagnosed with PTSD or drug and alcohol addiction. They have to be literally living outdoors to qualify to come into our building, and they have to be honorably discharged. He goes, when you meet them at the door, you're going to meet them with understanding exactly where they're at, compassion, dignity, respect, and you bring them in, you close the door, and once you close the door behind them, it's all about structure and accountability, because if you give them anything without them earning it, you're enabling them, and you're making their problems worse. I brought that philosophy when I came here in 2013. Blessed to have run this organization for the last 11 years, and I will start my 12th year in about 3 weeks. So very excited about that. But anyway, the people at Sandcastle and the people at Keys to Hope, and we'll get to that briefly in a minute, when they come in, we do a very lengthy intake interview. When I was doing them still when I was in operations, it would take about an hour and a half, because as a lawyer, I wasn't satisfied, so I knew that they were honestly answering the questions. I'd go over and over it, because if we don't know what their barriers are, we're not going to really be able to help. And so we developed the Grace Learning Center, which was built after we took over Sandcastle. We took over the rectory, and originally, and I'm going to go one program to the next. Grace Learning Center was originally built with money from Grace Church that closed down. They gave us $80,000. When not-for-profits close the doors, they liquidate by giving it to other not-for-profits, saying they're no profit club. I heard that too. In any event, we're able to open up that shelter, or we're able to open up that educational building. It was going to be a GED education center for the people on the west side. And it was an epic failure. When I came here, it was a year in operations, and they were ready to shutter it. They took the $80,000, they took it over to Judy Pinkston and tripled it, and were able to build this beautiful facility. And the first person that ran that building never really advertised anything, never really pursued anything. Anyway, Kristen Patterson was hired about the same time I was. People know Kristen. And she started on the path of working with Tom Cormick and Nancy Philippi, our board president and treasurer at that time, starting to look at different classes that we want to bring in to empower people. When She left about 3 years after that. I took over the programming and we changed the whole philosophy. Every class that we run at the Grace Learning Center has a foundation and a barrier common to the people we serve. So for example, we have computer skills classes, basic and intermediate. You can't navigate, you can't look for a job, can't look for housing if you don't know how to navigate a simple computer system. And we do everything through a program called Collective Impact. So anything that I say that we're doing with partners in the community. We have over 100 community partners that we work with on a regular basis. Food rescue takes up an awful lot of that, but nonetheless. We got the computer skills. We have 2 different banks come in and teach banking, budgeting, credit repair. We have Purdue Extension as our partner that comes in on Wednesdays. We call them Working Wednesdays. And it's all about job readiness, job preparedness, how to act on the job. We have sub-programs under all of these programs that take forever to talk about. But when COVID hit, I kept hearing, running congregate living facilities when COVID hit, it was a nightmare, but we were able to survive that. But I kept hearing, when COVID was, you heard about suicides, you heard about domestic violence, you heard about isolationism, depression, all of these different things. And reading and keeping in line with that, they kept talking about the long-term effect that COVID was going to have on mental health. So we partnered with Bowen Center and Pillars of Wellness, and we have 5 different mental health classes there for trauma, one for coping with chronic illness, which is a lot of our participants, healthy relationships, grief management, and anger management. So we have those 5 classes, 4 of them of which are live streamed. So we have that going. We also have health and wellness. We have Purdue Extension, again, Jody Cooch comes in and teaches a nutrition class. But we wanted to put an emphasis on the diabetes that runs rampant in the homeless community. So we had Dining with Diabetes with Linda Curley from Purdue Extension out of Lake County. She came in and run a 5-class session. I got a $125,000 grant from the Department of Health to run these mobile food pantries, but also to run a plant-based education cooking class. Maria Fruth and Healthcare Foundation gave me enough money to build a teaching kitchen in the back of Grace Learning Center. So we have all of that. Those are recorded by our friends over at ALCO, and those are found on our webpage. So really focused in on what we need to do to eliminate barriers, because it's not enough to house people temporarily for a period of time until they can get a job and get housing. It's much more important, as far as I'm concerned, the lessons I've learned over the years, is that unless we achieve sustainable self-sufficiency for our participants, they're coming back. When I was in operations, I'd see return people all the time, and our recidivism rate right now is almost 0, because the people that come in, they sit down for their intake interview, we go through all of these questions, and then we put together an action plan. And that action plan is centered around the Grace Learning Center and the classes that we teach there, and for some more severe cases that we can't handle with classes, we have community partners, we have HealthLink, we have people over at Swanson Center and the other agencies that we work with. So those are the 3 primary programs. And in 2019, Oscar Gibson, who runs the Food Bank of Northern Indiana's warehouse, came to me and said, we do food rescue in Michigan City. And it was, our old director, that was his, program. He wanted to run it under Feeding America, and it's just a big waste of time and money. We send the trucks out there. We're losing money hand over fist. Would you be willing to take it over? I said no, and my board said yes. So,
You hear that? You hear that,
Jack? Anyway, the board of directors said, it's a basic need, we can do it. So we started out with U-Haul truck, and Ed Marion, who was my board president at the time, was driving the truck, and volunteers from Keys to Hope were running the program, going to Myers, Walmart, Aldi, GFS, Big Lots, twice a week, Mondays and Fridays, and bringing it back, and then giving it out to the different food pantries. we graduated. I started doing the mobile food distribution events for Oscar Gibson Food Bank probably about 9 years ago. But we started in 2019, and when COVID hit, we had all these government programs coming in. We were able to get our own food rescue truck with the help of Healthcare Foundation, Doing the Health Council, and Barker Welfare Foundation. And to date, we're at 3.6 million pounds of food distributed around the county, free of charge to the individuals. It's a number we're really, really proud of. We work very hard. We have 34 different receiving agencies in 7 different areas, and to embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion. When we go to the areas that have the highest food insecurity rates. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 different areas that we go to. And then to really get down into the weeds and make sure that everyone has an opportunity. People can't get to these Google events. Some of them work. Some of them have mobility issues. Some of them don't have cars, whatever. We now, with that grant I got from IDOH, we've created a sub-network of churches in each of the 7 areas that we bring these mobile food pantries to. And say we get 350, we'll take 50 boxes off the truck. The churches are notified a month in advance when we're coming out. They get everything set up, so they have 25 different families that will be receiving this. They come get the boxes, and the church elders, always looking for the opportunity to serve, kind of runs those programs. So that's CCH in a nutshell. That's my elevator speech. That's as short as I could possibly make. I've been in places where I've talked for hours. But
Jim, you have 4 very, very prominent programs.
Yes.
We do.
And we appreciate hearing that because it's part of the community. It's part of what, as Tourism Bureau, we should be involved.
Quality place, quality of life.
Yes, quality of life, exactly. So we appreciate you spending that time explaining it to us.
When I was in Illinois, I'm going to do a 1-minute speech here.
Got him started.
And I haven't even gotten to the story, but I will. I'll make this quick. I was miserable. I was a lawyer for 42 years, and while I was a banking and commercial real estate lawyer for the first 20 years, I took a little time off when I got divorced in 2000. I came back, and I really wanted something challenging, and I wound up being a defense attorney in federal court for a recidivist securities violator, and then another group of individuals, and they're basically criminals. And so I got out of it. I got a taste for the social service work. Like I said, only 2 days a week was practicing law, and I started doing all of these other things. And I used to go to work begrudgingly in the morning, and I'd come home at night, bitter and unfulfilled, and just really coming out of my skin. And now I get up in the morning, I can't wait. My day starts at 4:30 in the morning. I get up, I work out, I walk my dog, I answer emails, I go to work. So
Hear that in the back?
Selective hearing.
And when I get home at night, I feel really so fulfilled. The work that we do helps a lot of people, and that makes me feel good about what we do. But I make it a point always to say, it's not me, it's not my organization, it's the community. We partner with everyone on every single project. Keys to Hope has an MOU with Nest Community. So we have a 24/7 sense of place, an opportunity for people that are utilizing the emergency overnight shelters during the day. They come to Keys to Hope, they get their showers, they get their laundry done there. We have lockers for them to keep their stuff so they're not carrying it all over town with them. But most importantly, we get their case management there, and they're back on the road to sustainable self-sufficiency. So, Sandcastle Shelter for Homeless Families building is located at 1005 West 8th Street on the west side. We've been there for, like I said, 16 years running that building, and that building is 110 years old. And last year, we did a $220,000 renovation of the exterior of the building with a new sloped roof, $100,000 worth of tuck pointing alone. It's a 2-story all-brick building, and I said, we're not gonna do, I've seen other buildings where they do patchwork. I said, top to bottom, let's spend the money. we did that. So it was a $220,000 project. We put a concrete driveway in to replace this old asphalt driveway to the Grace Learning Center. Reconfigured the backyard to add an additional 25% green space for the kids. We're bringing new playground equipment as part of the interior renovation, which we started this year. The interior renovation project is $377,655. So between the two, it's quite a large, it's over $600,000 renovation of this building. I've already spent about $130,000 on phase 2 on the interior. We got all new HVAC, but at some point, to do what we needed to do inside the building, we had to close it, and we had to move the tenants, our participants. And the easier way to do it would have been to gradually let the participants that were there graduate the program and leave in the not filled room, and then come down to the end and then close the building, rehab it, and do it. I couldn't in good conscience do that to families that had nowhere else to go. So we made the decision to put them in hotels. And it turned out to be one of our higher line items in the budget. It was just shy of $40,000. And I'm like P.T. Barnum when it comes to trying to raise money. I'm out there and I'm on social media and I'm on the radio and I'm on Elko and all of these different things. And it was a Facebook post that I put down, not complaining about it, but explaining our decision to keep the participants working their programs. And as participants graduate out of a hotel room, the next people on the waiting list come in and will take that spot. And I received a call from Gail. And Gail called me up and said, Jim, I saw your post. This is exactly what we do. We work with the hotels. We want to be able to help you. Can we jump in? And I said, absolutely. And we were dealing with a hotel that I had started dealing with in November of last year, maybe even a little earlier than that. And went to them, said we were going to need 7 rooms situated together, and we're going to need them probably for 3 months. And the discussions were ongoing. We talked a couple of times at the beginning of the year. I reached out again, said we're doing that. And Gail started working with Chelsea.
Let me just interject for a minute, because I would like to have Gail kind of jump in here, Jim, to help you out a little bit.
Sure.
Because I know she kind of explained what she did. I'm really proud of what she did. So can you, when he called you, take us from that point?
Well, and I actually heard Jim on the radio on WFM discussing further what the needs were, and I wanted to be involved personally. But I also, when we started talking about it, and I heard they were going to have their participants without a place to be while they redid this beautiful old facility home, I thought, this is something that we potentially can have impact on because of the relationship that Amy and the team in Heads and Beds has developed with all of our hoteliers, that there had to be a way that we could positively impact what Jim and his folks needed. And yet, I am not completely up to date on all of those details of the hoteliers. So that's why Chelsea was right there to step in and do the heavy lifting and all the step taking. And things just kept falling into place. So we, the Bureau, have made a financial contribution that we hoped would be able to be in the matching program from Unity.
From healthcare or health foundation, and it is.
Okay, and it is matched. So it was matched, what, 2 for 1, 1 to 1?
1 to 1. So your 2,500 became 5,000.
Very good. That's what we had hoped. Because as Jack said earlier, quality of life, quality of place spreads from the very small, like ants, throughout the whole community.
But what I think is unique about all of this is the insight that you had when he called you to pursue it. Because, you could have just said, well, you could do this, you could do that, and just threw it back at him, but you took the helm and kind of helped him go through the process so that it would be done in a way that it would be most effective. And that's what I thought was really, really encouraging and inspiring as far as an organization to have people on board that can do that. And when Chelsea jumps in, you got another staff person jumping in, helping out with the community.
And that part of it gets really good, but I've told the staff several times, quit listening to the radio, get off Facebook, okay, because this is the kind of stuff that happens, right? So,
Chelsea
All right, anyway, Jim.
Yeah.
Let me continue. And I'll keep this rolling.
Yeah.
So, on March the 20th, Chelsea had called over to this hotel, and they were gonna try and get a discount or do that. And she called back and said, hey, I talked with the manager, and he's very enthused, and he still has to check with the owners, but, we have been talking all along, and they were having a slow period. So he goes, she said it's gonna be a win-win. He sounded very accommodating and everything else. And this was on March the 20th. So the week we were moving the participants was going to be April the 1st. So we had a few days. So the next week I called that manager twice and didn't get a return phone call. So I started panicking. So on Saturday, 2 days before the move, I called and I got a hold of the manager's wife. She tracked down the husband. He called me up. He goes, oh, I got some bad news for you. And he said, we're not going to be able to do it because we're going to be closing down the second floor because we're slow, and we're going to be renovating our bathrooms. And after a few excited utterances, asked him when he planned on telling me this. I was furious, to be honest with you. And I got off the phone with him. I sat down and I did an email to Chelsea, who responded in about 10 minutes. And about 20 minutes later, she sent me an email back, said, call Paul over at Baymont Inn by Wyndham, which I did. And not only did he give us a deep discount on the rooms, he gave us their largest rooms in a block, two full-size beds, and we've got our families over there. I left my credit card on there. And it worked out. And it worked out because of the help that I had from Gail and from Chelsea and from this organization that I sit here talking to today. And it couldn't have gone any better. So last week I have a monthly program, and I used that time to talk about this whole thing. Jack called in and participated on that with me. I penned an article and sent it over to Amanda, the new managing editor. I had a really good relationship with Jeff Mays. I write articles, I send it over, he put it on the front page every single time. I became a staff reporter. So anyway, I can't thank you all enough. I can't thank Gail and Chelsea enough for this. And because of this, problem solved, and we'll be done with our renovations in about another 8 weeks. So thank you.
Yeah.
Nice story.
Great job. So, that we didn't seal any subject, because literally, this was a little more in depth that neither Amy or I could do the justice. That's why we did the way we did. So Amy, you want to give us a...
It's a great story, so I appreciate it.
And it does go to the fact that, and our board knows this, but I'm going to say it for everybody else. We work 24/7 all the time. When he said that email lasted 10 minutes, in my opinion, that's 8 minutes too long, okay? I expect our staff, this was a weekend, I expect us to be responding. By the time that email hit, she had copied me, we copied others, we made some decisions, things would happen. That's the way we work, and I just want to make sure everybody understands that. So, Aim, you got some quick update on heads and beds, please.
Yeah, I got a couple of things I want to talk about. Linda mentioned the Kill Road Guide, and I just wanted to let you know that there's stay and play lodging ads in there, in the guide for Michigan City and LaPorte, exit 39 and exit 49. So those are distributed all on the toll road. As a part of this partnership, all of our hotels are also listed on the digital boards on the toll plazas, so it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal. We get behind the scenes. It's a great partnership and a great way to promote our hotels, and we always let them know this is going on, and they really appreciate it. So we've got that. We are also running a digital ad campaign through Doomland Media right now. We're really excited. It's basically a lake destination type featured ads. It's on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all social channels. It's running now through May 5th, 6-week campaign. So we will have the metrics from that at the next meeting. Work with Adam on this process and worked with them in the past and gotten some great analytics and engagement. So we're looking for that as well. And basically we're trying to drive them back to our website so that they, again, plan a visit. Stay put. So that's happening. Sports, I don't know if you guys all recall the sports calendar we handed out earlier in the year, but we are in full swing. We've got NSA, VPA, Dunes volleyball tournaments are still happening. Fishing tournaments are happening now too. So basically from here on out, every weekend is booked through fall as far as sports and youth sports go. So our hotels are getting really busy and of course they appreciate that as well. Our team is going to go out. Scott goes out and visits the hotels. He's our main point person these days. But also our team is going to go out and visit on the 8th and 9th. So we're looking forward to that. We were able to do a couple of tours recently. We went to the Blue Heron Inn. They are updating their rooms with a special focus on their Lakeview rooms. Obviously, those are their most popular, so they're totally gutting and renovating those rooms. So we're excited to go back out and see the progress on those. And then also some of us met with the owners and staff of Pine Lake Resort and Banquets, had lunch at Uno's Pizzeria, which is really good. I hope you all have had a chance to visit. The main reason I wanted to talk about that is their ballroom is totally done. It's a great space. It looks fantastic. I would recommend that you all go. If you want us to facilitate a tour, we'd be happy to do that. I know a lot of you sit on boards and different things. It's a great place for meetings, weddings, events, and so on. Pacific is too. But this is a great space that we hope that you take advantage of. So anyway, again, we're happy to help facilitate any tours if you guys want to see that. So, but more comes the visits coming in a couple weeks. So.
Great work, Amy, thank you. Terry's not here from Michigan City. Brett, you have a brief report update? You notice?
We're busy.
Next.
We got a lot going on right now. This weekend, Friday or Saturday, we have the New Day Foundation fundraiser. New Day does great work throughout the community on cancer patients, cancer costs, how cancer affects families. It's a huge fundraiser for them. I think last year they raised a little over $60,000. They have great entertainment lined up for the event as well. The Whistle Pigs are one of the top bands in Northwest Indiana. Outstanding. You'll have a great time if you choose to go. May 4th, we have LaPorte High School prom. May 11th, we have a Jimmy Buffett tribute coming, Gone to Paradise. Tickets are still available for that. And then our next show would be May 31st. We have Jump and Classic Rock Experience. And then in June 9th, we have a Neil Diamond tribute from the West Coast coming in. They actually flew into Chicago for a private event. We were tipped off by a couple people and managed to get them in here on Sunday, June 9th on routing. It's going to be a great show. Neil Diamond's actually played with them. They've been on the Jay Leno show, not Jay Leno, David Letterman before he retired. They've been on Jimmy Fallon. Neil Diamond's actually played with them on these shows, so it's going to be quite an experience for that. And then one of the other things we've done too is announce the Friday Night Live dates of June 7th, Friday, June 7th will be the first, and then Friday, July 5th will be Taco Fest, and then Friday, August 9th, sorry, I had to scratch my brain there for a second, will be
Just let me know.
And then
It's up to you.
Night on the Owl will be September 20th, the night before, the 25th, and we're real excited for this. We'd like everyone to get involved if they can. The 25th Annual Sunflower Fair is going to be September 21st this year. That event has grown to, we had over 10,000 people attend last year, over 125 artists and vendors. It's huge for LaPorte. Really want to do it up and like mark the 25th celebration of this event. So anybody interested in helping or assisting or sponsorships, etc. And then one other thing I'd like to announce too, our air conditioning is being hooked up this week. They'll be testing today through Friday. Hopefully it will be functioning on Saturday, just in case we do. I saw the forecast. Real excited about that. The forced air heat's already been installed. We had some delays with the air handlers from Carrier of about 365 days. So those have been finally installed and arrived. We're excited that that project's coming to an end. And it's going to be a great summer for the Civic Auditorium. And one other thing we've done too is we have agreed with the Civic Advisory Board to loan us $42,000, and then we're still trying to source the other 10. We're going to look for some sponsorships. If that doesn't work, we'll just take it out of our non-operating budget. But the Civic's going to be purchasing an LED wall to enhance all of our meetings and experiences at the Civic Auditorium and the concerts as well. It's going to be a great investment for us.
Brett, I'm gonna be sending out an email the next day or two, but I'd really like to get some updates on where we're going with the tournament, okay? The basketball tournament.
I would too.
Yeah, well, we're gonna insist on
I will
it,
share with you what I
Yeah.
know so far.
okay? But we gotta insist on it. If we're gonna put it on the budget, that amount of
I
money?
agree. I do know, I think there's been some tentative discussion that it's going to be, January 1st, I think falls on a Wednesday this year. Or Thursday, it's gonna be the following week. That's what I've been told, not sure.
But we need some communication, so
I'm
yeah.
not sure who it's gonna be for yet.
Yeah, I'll remind you, we'll get together. Thank you.
Sounds good.
All right, so, Pat, I think you
Yeah.
had something in Certain County?
Just for Fairgrounds Management and Events Corporation, FMEC, attended our board meeting this past week, and we have an event that's in the process of being put together. No details on it yet, but it's a food truck event, and Joy is working on putting that together, so we should know something about that pretty soon. And then also just want to remind everybody about the fair coming up. It starts July 6th, and that's a big event for our county. And I just want to remind everybody, even though it's in LaPorte, it is a county event. So we definitely want to get out and support. I'm in discussion with a couple of people about having a Michigan City Day again. We used to have that back in the day. We had a day for Michigan City, and there was just some, little cute little perks here and there for Michigan City residents to come out and participate. So we're looking at doing something like that again, potentially, and maybe at the next meeting, we'll have some more details on that as well. But that's all I have.
Great. So we saved the best for last. Blue chip update.
Oh, I'm with Brett, we're busy. No, everything's good, we're currently still under renovation, so hopefully we definitely will have a new product to show off when you have the retreat in come September. So renovations for the hotel rooms are almost done, they should be done next month. What else are we doing? Infusion should be open by Memorial Day, so that will be exciting. So the food outlets will be all set. And then we're gonna lay off for the fall, and then starting in December, I get a new renovation for the second floor meeting space. So all of that, the Samsung Ballroom, Orleans Ballroom, thank God, they're finally getting renovated. It's been an ongoing joke within our department as far as how old that carpet and wallpaper is up there. Wayne Beast is gonna go under renovation, as well as the spa. So again, a lot of investment being done to make sure that we're competing with our neighbor casinos along the strip, right? So again, from a convention and meeting standpoint, we got some exciting groups coming in. Local 395 is May 4th for 810 people, celebrating their 100th anniversary. So we've got some good conventions, meeting space, and again, or events coming in as well.
Thank you very much. Angie won't tell you this, but I will. All of us get graded, and we all have benchmarks, and we all have somebody that gives us some guidance on where we're supposed to be. I can tell you that Angie, of course, is rated on some numbers that move the line with regards to bringing in meetings and conventions. Angie has, ever since she's been here, she's set a new benchmark for that. And they don't talk about it much, but we're really lucky in the 10, 11 years that Angie's been here that and what she's done. And Blue Chip realizes it. But they keep adding the benchmarks, but she keeps hitting it. So that's all good for us. So I just wanted to say it. And Angie does have us booked in for all of our stuff. We've added stuff for the race this year. We're going to be hosting the industry folks again for a private lunch, doing quite a few things, and she's got it all booked and ready to roll, right? So we're ready to go. So Pat, sorry about the length of the report, but we had some really good stuff.
Good meeting.
Really good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm real proud to get that out.
These are exciting times for this community, and when I say community, I mean LaPorte County. So, good meeting.
All right, do we have any unfinished business at this time? Okay, it's not on the agenda, but I'll open up for any board comments, announcements. If not, I will announce that the Michigan City chapter of Indiana Black Expo, I'm the board president for the organization, we will be hosting our 4th annual corporate luncheon on June 14th. I'll give you some more information later. I'll send you an email on that. And that's a major event. This year, we give out 4 different categories of awards, but the one that we really, put a lot of emphasis on is the Lifetime Achievement Award. And last year we gave it to Cliff Livingston. The year before was Barbara Eason Watkins, and the first year it was Maimon Powers from Powers and Sons Construction Company, which is one of the first black construction companies organized in the United States. And the gentleman had some very moving stories to tell us. So from there, we're at this year where Erica Stallworth will be recognized for her lifetime achievement as the first African-American judicial officer for LaPorte County. So we're very pleased to do that. And we have some other awards we're giving out. One is a surprise award. We never tell anybody who it is until that day, and it's always a challenge to get them there because they don't know they're getting.
Don't worry, I'll show up. Don't worry.
Okay, and with that, any other board comments, announcements? Okay, hearing none, we will have our next meeting on May 28th, 2024. Motion to adjourn. We got Mike and Stacy. No comments? Meeting is adjourned.
Thanks, everybody. Great meeting. Jim, thank you very much.
Thank you.